Hi, thanks everyone for joining us. We're going to be discussing the Einstein portal that Princeton University Press will be launching in collaboration with Paradigm Publishing Services. This is a database of Albert Einstein's collected works and related secondary source material. In 1921, Einstein took his first trip to the US to deliver a series of lectures at Princeton University on relativity. Those would later become now the well-known book, The Meaning of Relativity, that Princeton University Press published. And so began the long-spanning publishing relationship between PUP and Einstein. Einstein's works live with the Hebrew University of Jerusalem, and so his archive is there. The editorial team that curates and transcribes and translates all of his collected works is based out of Caltech with the Einstein Papers Project. And so it is these three institutions that work together to bring what we are now excited to launch with the Einstein portal. The portal will launch with the first 16 volumes of Einstein's collected works, both in the English translation and the original German. These are spanning right now over 18,000 pages and cover Einstein's life and work through 1930. This is a great time for us to really modernize the way that scholars can engage with Einstein's works through a modern database. And we have many more decades of his work to cover from 1930 to his death in 1955. It also feels like a symbolic inflection point. It's right before Einstein moves to the United States in 1933 to fleeing Nazi Germany, and he becomes even more prolific in his output. And we're so excited to be able to show some of the mock-ups we have from the early database, but I wanted to say that we are also really looking forward to being in conversation with librarians, hearing about what you would like to see out of a database, and just continuing to talk with you all. We have a library advisory board at Princeton that we queried to make sure we were partnering with a vendor that would really be able to deliver on what we are trying to achieve in making Einstein's works more discoverable, more accessible, and being able to handle the breadth of content that we have. The Einstein Papers Project is the most ambitious history of science undertaking that we've seen, and the editorial team just has this incredible way of curating and contextualizing Einstein's writing that we were wanting to make sure that we were able to call that out in the database as well. I had the opportunity to visit the Einstein Papers Project in Caltech last year, and it was just amazing to be around the physical objects, the thousands of boxes of material that they have, the over 40,000 documents that they are going through and transcribing and translating and annotating to be able to pull together the work that we will see on the Einstein portal. So just go through just to show just some of the early look that we will have. This is going to be the comprehensive digital archive that will represent the full scope and complete picture of Einstein's massive written legacy. We want users to be able to fully engage in the text and drill down in different ways. A lot of detailed metadata work going in, being able to pull out who Einstein is in conversation with, what countries are being discussed, being able to choose the period of time that Einstein is working within. He has many letters and correspondences with other, scientific luminaries. He has his deep correspondence with Max Planck and Edwin Hubble and Robert Millikan and many others that really paint the full picture of Einstein, not just, as a brilliant scientific figure, but as a cultural icon and a public intellectual. And so just being able to, we've just uploaded a couple brief entries into the platform, but you'll be able to, disaggregate the printed volumes and search across the entirety of the content. We have the English translation along with the footnotes, the metadata, so you can drill down into any of those pieces. And you can toggle back and forth between the English translation and then the original German that obviously Einstein was writing in. Various different entry types that we have on his notes and letters, various correspondence and his thinking when he's working out, say, the meaning of relativity. But the one that we chose here was, a letter from his editor at Princeton University Press, basically saying, "Where is your manuscript?" That is a well-known trope that many UPs here will find familiar. And then we have called out on the side the commentary from the Einstein editorial team, because it's really their expertise and the massive amounts of scholarship that have gone into the work that they've done that we want to showcase. And then, of course, you can drill down into various historical figures and just get some more information on them as well, to place Einstein's work in context. And then we're also excited to really bring in the secondary literature that we have. Princeton University Press has a very strong history of science list, physics list, and we'll be able to have that content live on the platform as well alongside Einstein's original writings. We were also looking for a vendor that could really handle complex equations very well, and Paradigm Platform was able to do that for us. So there really is a nice interdisciplinary nature to the database between the history of science and the deep math as well. And we just have such great ambitions for the database. There are documents and images that we're just not able to make it into the print volumes, given just the absolute volume of Einstein's output. But we'll be able to bring some of those into the database, have it be a very dynamic, living portal. And we're just so excited to be able to offer just a greater experience for researchers than they've had previously when engaging with his work. And part of the benefit of partnering with Paradigm is the ability to bring the discoverability to integrate into the ecosystem of library discovery services, provide counter reports, mark records, just make the content discoverable to researchers in a way that we haven't had before. We're also very excited to bring in being able to search by topics. So if a researcher is interested in relativity specifically, being able to drill down and bring together both from the secondary literature and the primary sources a research journey around a topic. And we know the importance of having verified primary sources now more than ever. So being able to have these in a more modern database is so exciting for us. Yes, and so I really encourage any librarians to reach out. We would love to stay in conversation with you as we develop the platform, and we're just incredibly excited for the potential. So thank you.
Do we have any questions? There we go.
So will you include scanned versions of the manuscripts as well?
The scans that link to the archives, yeah, we're in conversation with how we'll be able to do that with the original scans versus the transcribed materials.
Great.
Any further questions? Could you, Paige, I have one. Could you explain why the project is important now, right now?
Well, I would say that just the having verified primary sources as a place to be able to not just rely on a Google summary of Einstein's thoughts and his work, being able to go to the source and have the curated editorial apparatus that is accompanying just this vast volume of work, having the experts come in and do some of that work for you. And I think that Einstein's he wasn't just an incredible physicist, scientist. His political writings are also feel very salient now. And Einstein as just a political figure and his place in the culture, the Einstein Papers Project has really kind of brought that out.
That's what I was hoping to hear, the interdisciplinary nature of
Yeah,
the platform.
definitely.
It's not just physics, it's about all kinds of things from, one of the greatest polymaths that we had in the 20th century. So I think I'm very excited about it. There's a question over there, sir.
This is really exciting, and I enjoyed listening to. Came in late. I apologize. I'm so interested in being able to see the manuscripts, and I'm sure you may have covered this, but the transcriptions are awesome. Is it possible to see them alongside or in addition to the manuscripts themselves? And if you could just talk about that and how they're viewed in Paradigm, and is it a IIIF compliant viewer, that sort of thing.
Well, that's the great kind of feedback that we would love when we're developing the platform, to hear what is valuable to see kind of the image of the manuscript alongside the transcription.
I'm not necessarily a scholar, so don't
Don't
take my feedback
Yeah.
too strongly, but yeah.
No, definitely. And we're such early days with it, but putting together those kind of focus groups to understand what is most valuable when using the platform. And as to the reader, I can't speak to the Paradigm, that technical piece, but we'll definitely follow up on that as well.
Anyone else? Technical questions? Downloading? Mark records? Accessibility, you covered it all.
Yep.
But just
ADA compliant, WCAG.
Hi, Paige, could you comment on some of the ambitions that we have? Hi, I'm at Princeton. Some of the ambitions we have for the future of the platform. If we can build something that really is useful and we can take the feedback, what are other things that we've begun to put in the roadmap?
Yeah, one of the pieces that I'm most excited about is the concept of the research journey. So, when you are confronted with just massive amounts of documents, just being able to really drill down in a meaningful way, and again, understanding how scholars are most likely going to want to use it. We also have just some wonderful written essays by the editorial team that we will be bringing in, thought pieces from other scholars working in the history of science and physics, and being able to have those all in one place in a centralized location. We have some interesting future aspirations for, we have some audio for Einstein, and how could we integrate that? And so it's just being able to have a really dynamic platform in which to bring this all together into one place.
Will the editorial team only have the kind of one footnote comment method, or are you thinking about other ways to mark up the manuscripts or the audio or
Right.
any of the other pieces?
Yeah, there's a different, we've been kind of exploring different ways to display the editorial commentary. It could be done in the footnotes, it could be hyperlinked. That again would be wonderful feedback to have, is how best do scholars want to see it? Do they want to see it called out like this? Do they want more hidden so they can just engage with just the original text? And that's what we're going to love to know and find out. These are great questions.
Any other questions from anybody?
Yes.
So is the Einstein portal like fully compliant with the accessibility standards, the ADA, EAA, with
Yes.
the alt text for all the images and the mathematical equations?
That's right. I know that the De Gruyter Brill platform has all the ADA compliance, WCAG 2.1 compliant as well.
Yeah, I don't think anything that we were to build now is not ADA compliant. That's for some time now, I think.
It's really good to see, one answer set. If you were searching on like a subject and you got a larger answer set, would it let you filter on primary versus secondary source and the different types of content within?
Exactly. So you can filter by document type or entry type. You can filter by secondary versus primary, which I also think is a very important distinction to make here. Is just knowing which are the primary sources versus secondary. And yes, you can do that.
And the subject indexing, was it already built, or did you already have an index that you kind of worked off of and then did more work to it, or not just it?
Yeah, and this is the human curated metadata.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, you may have already mentioned this. So what is some time frame coming soon?
So yeah, our aspirations are for end of 2026.
Thank you.
And how many more years of new publishing do you anticipate?
Yes. That's another important point to touch on is that we will have annual updates as well, because there are, basically from 1930 to Einstein's death in 1955, anticipating that for the print volumes, we will have over 30 volumes of work, and we will be launching with 16 that we've published so far. So there are many years of updates and new discoveries and scholarship to come.
Any further questions? No? Okay, well, thank you very much for coming.
Yes, thank you.
Those of you that would like to give us more feedback, scan the QR code. We'd be happy to be in touch with you. And look forward to seeing you online. That's right. So thank you all for coming. Thank you.